Taylor from MEND. MEND was among the list of organisations to be investigated. So I think we might start with you, Linsay. First of all, tell us, if you wouldn't mind, what is MEND? What do the letters stand for? And what, as far as you're concerned, does MEND stand for?
MEND stands for Muslim Engagement and Development. It's an organisation that works across the whole of the UK to tackle Islamophobia. And we do that through engaging with the Muslim community, but also engaging with civil society and wider society to deliver training, panel discussions and conversations around supporting the Muslim community and to tackle the issue of Islamophobia.
And this new definition, do you find it to be a sensible, a clear and a compelling description of what constitutes extremism, or do you feel that it's wrong somewhere?
I feel that bringing in a new definition of extremism at this time in what is a general election year is very worrying. I also find that bringing it in without having had parliamentary debate or wider civic society engagement in really having a conversation around what this is really worrying. Also, the fact that obviously 3 former Home Secretaries have come out saying that they are concerned about the politicisation of this definition and of bringing about a new definition at this time is highly concerning.
Except when you read the definition, and it is the promotion or advancement of violence, hatred or intolerance, I think lots of people will think, well, absolutely, that defines extremism very well, very clearly, very briefly, in a way that anyone and everyone can understand, and that it's quite clear that any organisation at all that fosters or nurtures or promotes or encourages or indeed uses violence, hatred or intolerance or the advancement of the same should be disbanded or looked carefully at or examined, and people should cut ties with it if it's found to do any of those things, shouldn't they?
I think at the end of the day, having a strong, robust definition on extremism is very important. But the way that it's been brought about and the fact that it's being used to target mainstream organisations is really concerning.
And isn't your use of the word target interesting and possibly concerning? Because is it targeting organisations, or is it simply focusing on organisations to have a look, examine what's going on, and make absolutely certain that none of these things that have been included in the description of extremism are going on? And if they're not, then these organisations won't be targeted. They'll carry on as before, won't they?
I think it would be great if we understood what lay behind the definition, what lay behind the organisations who have been named within the list that Mr. Gove brought out. So why these specific organisations? Why is it that he wants to look further into organisations that are mainstream within British society and that are doing a job, 90% of them, to tackle hate and eradicate hate and to bring society together? I think it would be really important to know and understand why certain organisations had been placed on this list.
In case they might be found to covertly encourage or foster or nurture exactly what he doesn't want, which, as we all know now, is the promotion or advancement of violence, hatred or intolerance. And if they're not, they won't be found to be doing so. I mean, you know, there are organisations at the absolute core and heart of our society, for example, the police force, which have been found to be riddled with all kinds of appalling bigotry and racism and misogyny and all the sorts of things that we absolutely most don't want to find featuring there. And it's a similar kind of thing, isn't it, to look into organisations that may have been considered mainstream just in case.
I mean, I do think it's important to look into organisations, but it would be interesting to know how this decision had come about, why these specific organisations had been named, and also the fact that there has been a lot of Islamophobia within our own government over the last number of years. I mean, obviously, we've had Lee Anderson coming out recently with his comments about the London mayor. We've also had previous Prime Minister, making comments about Muslim women wearing the niqab looking like letterboxes. This is already a very marginalised community, a community who've seen a 365% rise in hate crime since, over the last couple of months. And really, this is only going to marginalise communities further.
Unless, of course, the examination shows nothing whatsoever to concern anybody, worry anybody, and each one of the organisations is duly told, this is fine, you're flawless and faultless, please carry on. In which case, there'll be no reason to feel marginalised or anything else, will there?
I would absolutely presume that all of the organisations would if they had to go through this, but it would be nice for the government to reach out and have a conversation with these organisations, that they don't hear about the fact that they could be named in a government document or a government release about extremism through media leaks, which is a real concern as well, and really actually have a robust conversation with these organisations and actually see what this all means would be very beneficial to us all.
Linsay, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Elizabeth.